Hola, ¿qué tal? Me llamo Eli. Gracias por estar aquí conmigo. Vamos a hablar sobre los acentos en español. I made this simple Google Doc to cover the top 5 ways I've really been able to reduce my English accent when speaking Spanish, allowing me to have much smoother conversations with native speakers who are interested in speaking to me and don't immediately respond in English because they don't know often that I even speak English. They might know I'm not a native speaker of Spanish, but these just quick, simple tips really make a big difference for your conversations in Spanish. And because this has to do with speech, I think it makes a lot of sense to go through it with an audio recording and not just simply a document so that you can really hear the differences of how you can really improve your accent in Spanish. So the first one is to have clear endings and tight lips when you're saying the 5 vowel sounds in Spanish. So we're really fortunate as English speakers that Spanish only really has these 5 vowel sounds. English has a lot more than five. Um, so we just want to stick to saying these 5 vowel sounds. So it's a, e, I, o, u. Your lips are a lot tighter on those than when you're saying the English vowel sounds. And generally speaking, they are shorter than English vowels. So we can really see this if you compare the English C, I see, you see, with the Spanish see, see. The Spanish is much shorter. It doesn't hang. Um, it's not elongated like that. And then also in terms of the vowels, in English, we often, on unstressed syllables, meaning the part of the word that's not accented, we often turn those vowels into sounds. Uh. So we bring this to Spanish when we speak Spanish. So instead of saying una muchacha bonita, we say una muchacha bonita, um, or universidad, not universidad. You want to really pronounce the vowel sound in Spanish. And in terms of A's, the A is often, it has, your jaw is much lower than the English sound. Ah, not So you want to think about opening your jaw fully when saying the sound. So next we have what's probably the simplest item on the list is that the written letter V is always a B sound. So vengo is always pronounced vengo. It's not vengo, vengo. It's a b, b. Same with vive, vive. Anytime you see this V, think of it as a B. And then this sort of leads into the next one, which is that the B and G sounds are softer in Spanish than English. So there are conditions where the B is harder, like English, and where there's a full stoppage of air, but these are only when it's after an M or an N, or it's at the beginning of an utterance, meaning there's a pause and then you begin to speak. So the examples of the soft B where the lips don't fully close are mi bebé, lobo, lobo, ave, ave. There's not a hard closer. It's not lobo, ave, bebe. Um, it's a softer one. But if it's after an M or an N, like in ambos or invita, it is a hard B, more like the English B. Ambos, invita. And so this is the same for G. So here, like in digo, digo, algo, algo, it's not your tongue is not hitting the back of your mouth very harshly. Um, but if it's after an N or an M, then it is the hard G. Tengo, tengo, ángulo, ángulo. Um, and similarly, the D's are also softer generally. And they're more usually pronounced like the TH and the with the tongue on your top teeth. If But again, if it's at the beginning of an utterance, meaning after a pause, or after M, N, or L, then it is the hard D. So we lalo, lalo, my tongue is on my teeth. Pensalo, but anda, that D is much harder. It's not like it's a da. Um, aldea. And then finally, the P, T, and K sounds in Spanish are never aspirated, meaning they don't let out air. So when you say English words like pistol or table, uh, kilo, you let out a little air. You can put your hand in front of your mouth and you can feel this air. So when you try and say pistol, pistol, you'll really feel that air. In Spanish, they don't let out that air. So it's pistola, tabla, kilo. Um, it's not, there's no aspiration. So thank you guys so much. Gracias por estar aquí conmigo. Ha sido un placer. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below or send me over a message. I'd love to know what you think of this. If you have any other questions. So if you are interested in this and in improving your English accent in Spanish, then I do have some spots for students to work with one-on-one to cover not just in greater depth everything that we've gone over here, but also other sounds in Spanish to cover all the sounds in Spanish so that you have the most fluid Spanish possible. So if you are interested, send me over an email to elicsiegel@gmail.com with the subject line Spanish pronunciation, and we can quickly talk about what your goals are and what you're trying to improve in your Spanish.